Against that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
Let's own it. Let's own it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
He's number one right now. Number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has officially announced his comeback plans for 2026, confirming that his first appearance will be an exhibition against Mike Tyson later this year. However, the real shock came when he revealed he's preparing for a professional return, with ongoing talks for a sanctioned fight against Terence Crawford. Mayweather stressed that both he and his team are working to finalize the details, making it clear this comeback is more than just talk.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait.
Whenever talk of dream fights comes up, Floyd Mayweather's name is always front and center. Even in retirement, he looms over boxing, with endless debates about how he'd fare against today's champions. Recently, Robert Garcia weighed in on the idea of Mayweather versus Terence Crawford, pointing out that while Floyd's career is legendary, he never achieved undisputed status like Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. Still, Garcia admitted Mayweather's skill and aura are so extraordinary that if the fantasy matchup happened, he would lean toward picking Floyd to win.
Man, he doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed, is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more. Pacquiao was 8 division, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, fuck, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia emphasized that Terence Crawford has achieved something Mayweather never did, becoming undisputed by unifying every belt in a division, while Manny Pacquiao also earned undisputed recognition across multiple weight classes. He noted this as the one area where Floyd's otherwise flawless record feels incomplete. Mayweather stayed undefeated, dominated elite opponents, and built a legendary career, but undisputed status eluded him. Garcia stressed this doesn't take away from Floyd's greatness, yet it proves Crawford deserves to be considered one of boxing's most complete fighters. Still, drawing from his experience, Garcia explained why he'd pick Floyd in a head-to-head clash, pointing to Mayweather's unmatched defense, timing, and ring IQ as decisive advantages.
Probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking, that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Adado highlighted that Floyd Mayweather's legacy is defined by 2 equally legendary personas. First was Pretty Boy Floyd, the fearless young talent who wowed fans with speed, aggression, and knockout power. Then came Money Mayweather, the savvy businessman and defensive mastermind who became the face of pay-per-view boxing and built the sport's biggest empire. Olau described Floyd as a genius who carefully shaped both his style and his image, with each version carrying its own aura. Pretty Boy for the risks and excitement, Money for the strategy and spectacle. Together, they created a legacy that made Floyd not just a great fighter, but also a pioneer who redefined boxing's business model.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, And Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom. But sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument of, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fight. You know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was like Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Zab Judah, who once shared the ring with Floyd, didn't hesitate to call Terence Crawford the king of today's era. He pointed out that every generation has its star, and right now, Crawford carries that mantle. Judah reminded fans that even Canelo Alvarez once suggested Crawford might be better than Floyd, a statement he believes shouldn't be taken lightly. To Judah, Crawford has already proven he can dominate elite opponents across multiple weight classes, with a complete style that no one has figured out how to crack. While respecting Floyd's legendary legacy, Judah stressed that the present moment belongs to Crawford and that he deserves recognition as the top fighter of this generation.
Number one, this is his generation, this is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, that he know?
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Probably rematch. I believe so. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
Breadman Edwards dismissed the idea of a Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford showdown, arguing it feels unnecessary and takes away from Crawford's moment. He said Crawford deserves to be celebrated for his current success rather than constantly compared to past legends. Edwards suggested that if Floyd wanted a big crossover fight, a matchup with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense because of the star power and fan intrigue. In his view, dragging Crawford into fantasy debates undermines the historic weight of what he's achieving now. He stressed that boxing should stop chasing impossible matchups and allow Crawford to be recognized as the symbol of greatness in his own era.
Never gonna get this fight, unfortunately. Just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win, but if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man? I don't know. Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, how the fights will go and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made. They kind of two different eras though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter reacted to the shocking news of Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson by calling it more of a street fight than a legitimate boxing match. He pointed out the genuine tension and long-standing resentment between the two, saying that if it happens, it could get deeply personal beyond just skill and strategy. Porter doubted any commission would officially sanction the fight, warning that while it might grab headlines, it risks crossing lines the sport shouldn't cross. He believes the danger of chaos outweighs the appeal, making him skeptical it will ever take place in a proper ring. Other analysts echoed similar concerns, criticizing the growing trend of exhibitions with legends like Floyd, Tyson, and Jake Paul, saying these events are more about star power than true competition.
I don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in-the-ring situation. And so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened. And then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? Obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show, we already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
You falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So
right.
Many observers noted that even Jake Paul's fights failed to fully satisfy fans, raising doubts about why boxing keeps relying on retired legends instead of building up today's stars. To them, it highlights a weakness in the current generation as modern fighters struggle to capture mainstream attention on their own. Analysts warn that if this trend continues, the sport risks leaning too heavily on nostalgia and drifting further from its foundation of genuine competition.
Like this? No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta's a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not engage with him. But Jake not engaging with him just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight because clearly Mike is not the same. And clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
Joe Rogan weighed in by zeroing in on the personal rivalry between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, saying Floyd has disliked Mike since the early days and that tension could surface if they ever meet in the ring. Rogan speculated that Floyd might ditch his trademark defensive style and actually go for a knockout to settle the grudge, something fans haven't seen from him late in his career. While he admitted the fight is unlikely, Rogan stressed that raw animosity can change everything, and the idea of Floyd stepping out of character just to make a statement is what makes the matchup so fascinating.
Really? So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes,
But they like
Mike
money.
Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight,
They're
no
fighting.
disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Working.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements. Really? If there was a moment
They've
to
had beef
crack.
for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really... Could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still. At 50 years old, he's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins was
49.
still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he
Kentucky's
was
got-
active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's
You're
got
talking about
Gomez
retired
on the
contenders.
ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the
that's so
exhibition.
It's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah,
though.
it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not
entertainment.
going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis. You know?
There's a reason it says exhibition.
If I had a guess, yeah. The event itself would be a world-class venue, be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What
it.
does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course. Because they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do
Yeah.
you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani wrapped things up with a grounded take, saying the Floyd versus Mike fight is unlikely to be anything more than an exhibition built for money and entertainment. He noted that many insiders see it as a warm-up before Floyd's real comeback, with a potential professional showdown against Terence Crawford on the horizon. By framing the Tyson bout as a sideshow, Helwani shifted focus back to the bigger picture, Floyd's possible return to sanctioned competition, arguing the exhibition is simply a buzz-building placeholder while talks for Crawford continue.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's interest in it.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
White House
Mayweather
card seems to be happening. I got to eat my crow on that one. It's
Yeah.
tough. Tyson Floyd.
No chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early
Jake Paul-
50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't do
Against
it
a
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though. No.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at
Yeah,
one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. Was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were
Yeah.
still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic. It was
Yep.
Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean? What's the hook?
Two of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
Just, yeah. I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same, vast reach that
was a
Jake
big
Paul
deal.
versus...
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. and make sure to stay tuned for the next update.